everyone. Thank you for coming back to At Titi's House podcast. First let me say what platforms we're on, because I always start with opening up with what platform. We're on YouTube, we are on Spotify, we are on iHeartRadio, and we are now on Apple Podcast. And of course, our snippets you can see on TikTok, on Instagram, at Titi's House Podcast on Instagrams, at TikTok, and on Facebook as well. And then, of course, my personal platform, I do share some of the snippets as well. So let's get into it. I want to talk about our video that we posted and how much attention it got. I mean, it just got a lot of attention, which is great for us, right? Mm-hmm. But with good attention comes negative attention. Mm-hmm. And I just want to say, you know me, I always got to read the comments. I was told don't read the comments. Mm-hmm. But how can you not read the comments, producer? Tell me, how do you just bypass? It's funny because I was watching Snoop Dogg's daughter. She's so beautiful. The youngest one, her name is Corey. And she just recently got engaged. And she was saying that it could be 100 positive comments. And it could be that one comment that just triggers you and makes you want to respond. And even though you try not to, because you've gotten so many great comments from other people, like supporting your efforts or whatever you're doing. But that one comment can really trigger you to respond. Because I always say I'm not responding because I know that everyone's not going to agree with what you have to say. They're not going to believe. Everybody, first of all, let me just say this. So we posted the clip, and in the clip I said, I don't like a needy person, a needy partner, a needy man. I'm not saying that all men are needy. I'm not saying that all women don't want a needy man. I am saying myself, Titi, does not want a needy person. I can't deal with that. But what? So you think you're hurting my feelings by saying I'm going to be alone? That doesn't hurt my feelings. I've never been alone a day in my life. Like at the end of the day, like where does the anger come from these people that say, oh, she's probably, somebody called me an old Benz. And I was like, what?
An old Benz?
Yes. I just laughed. All I could do is laugh.
You'll say you're a drop top old Benz, 80s Benz, 70s?
Homeboy said I was an old Benz.
That's hilarious.
But I thought that was funny. Like, at the end of the day, you got to have a personality and a sense of humor. You got to have a sense of humor, right? Because at the end of the day, I said, from what I have experienced out in my life, Titi's House podcast is about my personal experiences, my lessons, my blessings, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not giving anyone advice. So for the gentleman that responded and said, you're giving advice, I am not giving anyone advice. I am giving you my personal experience. And I don't want any ladies to say, now, there's people that are going to feel like I feel. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying, hey, follow me and feel what I feel. There's going to be people that can relate to what I'm saying. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Why do I have to be lonely, single, which wouldn't you like to know? But you know what I'm saying? Is that crazy? Am I looking too far into it? Because like I said, some of these comments.
No, you probably struck a nerve. A lot of the men that was responding probably heard that from a woman. Probably said that to him before. You're a needy man. You're too needy for me. So that it probably hit home.
Just to touch on some of the comments, y'all. I probably been hurt before, sir. Mr. Pimpaho. We all been hurt. You know what I'm saying? Everyone has been hurt before in a relationship. No one has come out of a relationship unscathed. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Pimpaho, I'm sure you've been hurt before too. Somebody commented and said, and that's why the community is flourishing so well. What does my saying, I don't want a needy man, have to do with the how the community is doing.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. Like, at the end of the day, that's your opinion. Victoria, thank you for commenting. I appreciate it. So one guy, one day Tay said she just ain't came across a real, you know what, that'll take her out her ways. You are probably right. You may be right. One day Tay, you may be on to something. I may have not encountered the right person. Somebody said I was irritating.
That's funny.
So I said, you know, I had to. Sometimes I'm gonna comment in Spanish, because if I say something so many times in English and your ass still don't understand, I'm gonna say it in Spanish. Mr. Hot Sauce 513. Like, at the end of the day, you're irritating as hell. I looked at some of y'all. It'd be the people with the 2 likes that have a whole opinion on, you know, what's going on in my life. First of all, you don't know me. You don't know my background. You don't know me personally. You can't tell by going on my page who I am as a person. But what you will be able to see is that I've never been lonely a day in my damn life. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, please, you're seeing a 3-second to 5-second clip of a podcast that you haven't even looked at. Go to YouTube, go to Spotify, go to iHeartRadio, go to Apple Podcasts, and just listen in. Because I said I don't like a needy man. I don't. And you bashing me ain't gonna make me like one. At the end of the day, I don't care. I don't like a needy person. I have too much going on in my life that I want somebody calling me 20 times a day. Now, I'm not saying, let me just say that in a relationship, it goes both ways. When you like somebody and that person shows interest in you and you show interest in them, of course you're going to text, you're going to call, you're going to speak to them throughout the day. But that doesn't mean that they're going to call you 20 times a day, right? Mm-hmm. Text you 20 times in a day. It doesn't mean that. It just means that it has to be 2 people interested. What I said when I said I don't like a needy man is I don't want somebody bothering me all day long. I got to work. I got things to do. Like, I have a life outside of that person. And we should all, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be in tune with your partner, because you sure should be, but you have to have a life outside of your partner in order for you to grow and have your own experiences outside of that person, right? To be healthy. That's all I was saying. And I said, for me, I'm not texting a man, and I also said, if I like you enough, I will text and call. So it just depends on the situation. Is it being reciprocated? Because nothing is one-sided. Things have to be reciprocated. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate the comments. I feel like there were some great comments out here. One of the girls was like...
Yeah, it was people agreeing with you.
Yeah, one of the girls was like, correct. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Ebony Imani, she was like, correct. Only one warrior speech said it definitely can't be no one-sided shit, because I'm trying to stop cursing. A lot of things have to do with, I'm a believer in the zodiac signs. You know what I'm saying? It's just our personalities. It's who we are as people. Is what I might put up with, you might not put up with. I might not put up with what you like. It's all preference. And guess what, everyone has choices. We are all grown. We all have our own choices. So please, I love the comments, but you don't have to be nasty, rude, say to somebody lonely. Like, you don't know me at the end of the day. Cut it out. Cut it out. It's like, that's why we can't. There's no level of respect for each other in this society as humans. We don't respect one another. It's funny because I was watching Jocelyn's Cabaret. Have you seen that?
No, I've never seen that. I know it'd be wild,
it's season 4. Like, it's very interesting to see these girls live in this house together, and they're preparing for like different shows. They're part of a cabaret, which they perform all over. I think that's amazing. That I'm not taking that away from Jocelyn, that she is doing that and giving women an opportunity to grow their brand, who they are. Most of these girls some are strippers, some are just dancers. It's like different walks of life coming together. You know what I'm saying? And I respect her as a woman. I think she, Hey, you're on Zeus. You got this show. I think that's amazing. You're trying to give people opportunities. But what I don't like is how she talks to them.
She be talking to them crazy.
Oh my God, calling them dusty hoes and all kind. Like, that's why we don't, as women, we don't respect one another. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be a level, you know. And I don't know, Jocelyn. This might be just for the show, propaganda.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It might be entertainment.
Because I'm gonna tell you, ratchet shit sells.
100%.
Ratchet shit sells. It does. I don't know. I mean, we're a ratchet society right now. We don't have no respect. We really don't have respect for human life or humans or how we treat one another in this society. You know, it's crazy. I was watching the news and a little young guy about Zawo's age 22 was walking his Frenchie. Did I tell you about that? And they shot and killed him and stole the dog.
And stole the dog? He would have gave the dog up for his life. You know, why they ain't just ask for the...
I don't know, because some people love their dogs like they love their children.
Yeah.
I would have...
You could have the dog, man.
Carlito, I love you, but I'm not going to die for you, honey.
Take this Frenchie.
Go ahead and take him and we'll find you later. Because I'm not... we're laughing about it, but it's not nothing to laugh about. Like, what happened to respect for human life?
Nah, people are crazy. Like,
you just shot this young 22-year-old young man over a dog.
Did they catch the people who did it?
I don't think so, not yet. I haven't heard anything
about that.
Probably on
a ring camera somewhere. You know, you can't get away with crime.
Well, that's the funny thing is that they caught somebody speeding out of the area, out of the vicinity, during that time frame. So, but these days the car could be stolen because criminals know how to be criminals.
Nah, they think they do.
I mean, that's not saying that they won't get caught, but I'm just saying they found a car that was speeding out of the area, out of the neighborhood at that time. And it was in a good area, in Buckhead. This happened in Buckhead.
Oh, word. This was here in Georgia.
Yeah, it was here in Georgia, in Buckhead. I feel so sorry for that young man's family, his friends, you know, his parents. Like, oh my God, losing your child because they were walking a dog.
Yeah, that's crazy.
People, why is it we don't respect one another? Why is it we don't love each other? We're all human beings. Like, I just don't get it. Anyway, I kind of went off on a tangent there. Sorry, guys. I kind of do that sometimes. It just happens. But I wanted to talk about today because we talked about last week about, you know, we always at Titi's house, at Titi's house podcast, our segment we talk about. Let's talk about it is talking about relationships. So I wanted to talk about, because I'm watching like social media and I'm watching Bambi and Scrappy kind of go through what they're going through and like co-parenting and, you know, ways to co-parent, the challenges of co-parenting and all that thing. And I wanted to talk about that because I know I've experienced co-parenting. I'm sure a lot of my girlfriends that have been divorced have experienced co-parenting. And it is a difficult situation to co-parent when you leave the relationship, the marriage, not on good terms, right? That can be detrimental to, you know, the kids. Like,
yeah, because it's like, I don't even want your help, or I don't need your help, or
right.
I don't want to help you.
And it's like no help, like, no, we're gonna meet here. You're gonna come pick them up. There's like no relief in that co-parenting situation. Sometimes I might not be able to come pick them up. Can you pick them up? You know, and I'll pick them up from you. Like that. It's a lot
because one is mad at you, and like no, but it's really hurting the children.
Right. Even money. Like I always said, coming out of my marriage, like money was not the most important factor in the co-parenting, because some people, you know, once you get divorced, you struggle financially. You might struggle, and that person might not have the money to pay for all the things they were doing before. Now you're living separate. When you're together, your money is in one location. When you're separate financially, one person might be, you know, financially more stable than the other. So that creates a problem too, right? So you have to think about all that stuff. And I just see, you know, them experiencing the challenges of co-parenting, and just the kids suffer at the end of the day. Kids are the ones that suffer when you can't get along, right?
Exactly.
I always felt like your dad and I, even though we might not have gotten along, we tried to be on the same page at least. So I wanted to talk about, I actually found an article on, it was from June 8th of 2021. And it's actually like a blog on AugustaFamilyLawyer.com. And they talk about, what happens during a separation, filing for a divorce or settling child custody terms, and how parents have to overcome the obstacles of co-parenting. Because whether you believe it or not, there are some challenges that come with that. And I always say for my relationship with your dad, I was never a disciplinarian, was I? Mm-mm. Definitely didn't want that job. Your dad was a disciplinarian. So I think that even because Zaul was the only baby at home, you and Sean were already gone. Zaul was little. I found that we had discipline differences. Like we disciplined him differently. Your dad was more stern where I wasn't. So when Zaul went over there to spend time with him, a lot of times, as soon as he got there, he would be calling me, "Mom, come pick me up. Dad's being mean." And that was just part of that, the difference in how we discipline. Yeah. I've never been a disciplinarian, I don't think. I mean, I would always put it off on him. And that makes you the bad guy. That makes one of the parents the bad guy, right?
Yeah, but I also think you can discipline kids by just talking to them, or really just... I don't think you got to hit a kid to get your point across.
I agree with that.
You know what I mean?
I don't think you guys were spanked a lot.
Yeah, but still, even talking to him crazy, yelling at a kid, you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Talk to him like a human being.
You don't have to be their friend, because a lot of parents, the misconception is that I need to be my child's friend, but you don't need to be your child's friend.
No, I'm not even
but you do need to. I know you're not saying that.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that you can be stern without yelling.
Yeah.
Without being derogatory.
And you don't got to say just because I said
negative,
so.
Right.
Like explain to them what they did wrong.
Explain what I did wrong. I agree with that. I think I was more like that.
Yeah,
like 100%. I would be like, you shouldn't have did this because these are the consequences. Do you know what the consequences? I always was like that. And it might be because, I have a background in therapy. I always tried to reason with you guys and say, hey, this is what I think. Now tell me what you think. I think we have always had those types of conversations where your dad was more like, you just do what I say.
Yeah, we're going to resent you for that.
Yeah, so I mean, that makes it hard because one parent is the disciplinarian and one may not be. One is more stern than the other. That was our case. And that's a struggle. For the kids to be able to understand, there's issues with boundaries, with consistency and rules. You have to be, but like you said, you can be consistent. You can apply the rules. You can communicate effectively without yelling and screaming and whooping.
I think that just makes it even more difficult. It's going to make a kid not want to listen when you're yelling at them. Nobody wants to be yelled at.
I agree. There's also, they talk about communication. Communication being an essential key to co-parenting and is going to have to occur until the child reaches the age of 18.
Communication between the parents.
The parents.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. Sometimes relationships break up and they're not on good terms. And that communication, the ineffectiveness of you being able to communicate with your ex-partner spills over to the kids. Because you're not agreeing on what time to pick them up. Who's going to pick them up? Who's going to pay for this? Who's going to pay for that? Because some people, if they're on a level where financially they're on an even level, nobody pays child support. The kids can either live with the mom as the custodial parent and visit the dad, but because they both make the same amount of money financially, there's no child support.
Yeah, I didn't know that's how it worked. I thought no matter what. No,
in some cases it cancels out. You know what I'm saying? If you could prove that. But there's a lot of, the parents, there's a lot of anger. Maybe one parent wanted to leave the relationship, the other didn't. You know what I'm saying? There was just a situation, and I know I get off a topic sometimes, but just to bring it back, there was a situation where this lady was married to this man for 6 months. And she presented him with divorce. the cops came because the sheriff has to serve you divorce papers. Served him divorce papers. Do you know he shot and killed her?
Dang. That's crazy.
After he got the divorce papers?
Yeah, I don't even know what to say about that.
That's the
insane.
lack of, that's what I'm talking about. That communication where people are angry and, I mean, it just gets verbal, it gets hostile, it gets physical because you can't communicate.
Yeah, now he going to jail.
That's a
forever,
major
though.
challenge.
Yeah, he's bugging.
You know, it's like you're fighting because, you know, I know, you know, maybe sometimes when the kids, I felt like when Zaul got a certain age where he didn't want to fly back to Maryland, because remember when we first moved to Atlanta, he would fly back to Maryland to
In the
spend the
summertime,
summers with
yeah.
your dad. But once he got to like the high school age, I didn't enforce that anymore because I was just like, you know, he's in high school now. He wants to be around his friends. He doesn't really want to be traveling to Maryland, where now he has friends in Georgia. You know what I'm saying? So that creates, you know, it creates a problem.
Yeah.
You know, like he's a kid at the end of the day. You're the parent, but I was like, but he's 15. Like he doesn't want to come. Like you can't force the kid to get on the plane. Are you going to come and get him and force him to get on the plane? Like there's some things that you can't force your kids to do. And it makes it challenging with the parents to communicate because one parent thinks that you're trying to keep the child away from them. That's not the case. I'm just giving him the right or the option to make his own choice if he wants to go or not, right? So, okay, another challenge is trying to maintain consistency. It says through co-parenting, it's because you're in two separate households, it's hard to be consistent in routines. Like one parent might have a night routine, the other parent has a night routine. So when they're at two different houses, that can be chaotic because they're used to, maybe they're with mom 5 days a week and then they're with dad on the weekends. Dad lets them stay up all weekend, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And maybe lets them stay up later than they're supposed to. Mom might be like, it's 8 o'clock, you got to go to bed. So that creates issues where they're back talking to the mom. Like that's a challenge.
Yeah.
That is
I
really.
can see that.
And it depends on, you know, the parents' lifestyles, you know, it could be confusing. Like if it's a weekend, he might pick the kids up, go to a friend's house and hang out all night till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And then you're bringing the kid home and the kid like, I don't want to go to sleep. I experienced that with my past relationship where, you know, my partner had a son. And because he was out hanging out all night, the son was hanging out all night on the weekends because sometimes I had things to do. I didn't want to have to be stuck at home watching a child. But he would take him with him, no problem. He was like, it's my child, I'll take him with me. But the only thing is that then when he was with me, it's like, it's bedtime, 9:30. He don't want to go to bed. I'm with my dad, I'm up. No, that's not what we doing. So it creates a challenge and inconsistency. We got to be consistent in what we doing with these kids. That means your household needs to mimic my household and my household should at least try to mimic yours. Like I said before, financial inequality between households. One person might financially be more stable than the other, be able to provide more gifts, be able to, you know, to take them to the movies. Mom might not be able to do that because she's struggling, or dad might be struggling, and mom is more financially stable. That creates problems and challenges for the kids because they be like, oh, when I'm at my dad's house, he take me to the gas station and I can get chips and you can't do that with mom.
Yeah.
I ain't got it like that. I ain't gonna be able to spend money like that. You know what I'm saying? People come out of relationships and, you know, they have to learn how to do things by themselves.
Yeah.
Now you got a whole heap of bills you pay. You got electricity, you got
it's like
gas.
double every
phone
bill. So what bread was on, you know,
on the table.
being used at once to take care of the household, now it's doubled up to take care of two households.
Right. And it could be like that. And even in professional households, mom could be a lawyer, doctor. You don't know what kind of expenses. People have student loans.
Yeah.
People have things that they've, you know, got to pay back. Like, you don't know people's debt. You know what I'm saying? So that creates a big problem. Because I always felt like when I came out of my marriage, I felt like I had just graduated from OT school. I wasn't financially able to do a lot. And I tell you guys, like, I ain't got it like that. I'm trying to get myself back. I got to work 2 jobs, and I never had no problems working 2 jobs to make what
Yeah,
I
I don't
needed
know
to
how
make.
you did it. 2 jobs in school. That's
School
crazy.
and kids and grad school. Like at the end of the day, I had to still supply you guys' basic needs, house over your roof over your head. There was a period of time where your dad wasn't paying child support, and I had to do it. I had no choice. What choice do I have? You know. So those are the challenges that Augusta family lawyer, came up with. So once again, financial inequality between households, communication is a big factor, consistency is a big factor, and also discipline differences in the household. Those are the challenges that they've identified in co-parenting. Of course, there's ways to overcome co-parenting challenges. It just has to be done by both parties. You have to be able to talk about it and say, this is how we're going to overcome these challenges. Maybe dad shouldn't be taking the kids to do a whole bunch of extracurricular activities because it's not fair when they go back home, they're not able to do it with their mom.
Yeah.
Or if you're going to allow them to come to your house, maybe you should do it once a month and then give her a little extra money to be able to take them out. So it seems like it's even.
Yeah.
Right? I think that that's just really the best way to, because at the end of the day, the kids don't have to know that one parent is struggling over the other.
Yeah.
You want them to feel secure in their environments. You want them to be secure in how they are with their parents. That creates animosity. One kid might be like, I don't want to live with my mom because we don't do no extra stuff with mom or dad. So I want to live with the parent that has the most money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't think that kids think like that.
You know?
They're going to be where it feels the most comfortable at.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that. And I think at a certain age, what do you feel about a kid making a choice on what parent they want to be with? At a certain age, I think, I'm going to just be honest, I had all boys. And for me, I always felt like your dad should be involved because I can't teach you how to be a man. I can only show you from a woman's perspective, being emotional and, because I think that women are more nurturing. I can only show you that nurturing side, but you need somebody strict. There's a lot of strict moms too. I'm just not that mom. So I knew that for me, that wasn't going to work. I needed your dad. I needed to be able to call him and say, hey, I need you to talk to these kids. You know what I'm saying? So everybody doesn't have that. What do you think about that?
I don't know if you want to hear what I'm going to say about it.
No, I do want to hear your opinion.
No, it's going to be personal and,
Oh, okay. So maybe we don't need to be hearing that. Keep that personal stuff to yourself.
Yeah, I ain't going to talk too crazy right now.
Avoid unnecessary conflict. So it's saying in order to overcome some of the challenges, you have to avoid unnecessary conflict, which makes sense.
Between the parents?
Between the parents.
Yeah.
Don't be so emotional. Try not to make decisions based off of emotion. That's hard for a woman. A lot of our decisions are based off of emotion.
There's a lot of emotional men too. I be seeing, you know what I mean? I'm just
you know
speaking.
what? Now that you're saying, yeah.
Men are,
You're
I don't know
right.
why they say that women are more emotional than men when I see men being just as emotional. I think humans are emotional people. A lot of people don't know how to control their emotions. Just like even the guy you said that killed the shorty who brought the divorce papers to him. He was emotional.
He had to be very emotional to
emotions,
shoot her
yeah.
and kill her like that.
Yeah, no, men are just as emotional. They might be more emotional. Hot take. I'm going to say it. Men might be more emotional than women.
I agree. There are some that could be there's some men, this is why I feel men can be more emotional than women. I think there's situations in which they've grown up in their household. It's a lot of men, I'm going to say my age group, that have been raised by grandmothers and their mothers. There's a lot of single family households, right? So a lot of men, that's what makes them emotional. You're around your mom a lot. You become an emotional being. Women are emotional. We make decisions based on, I hate to say that, but we are emotional beings. So men that are in the space where there's no man and it's just women raising them tend to be more emotional. And then there's men that I'm going to say in my era, because that's the drug era, the crack cocaine era. I'm going to say I'm a little bit younger, but this is how I think about it. There's a lot of parents that were absent. You know what I'm saying? Or moms that were on drugs that were absent. Some men, what I've noticed, men my age group, they have abandonment issues. A lot of them have abandonment issues. Damn, y'all. I mean, I hate to say that, but it's true.
Yeah.
And they bring those abandonment issues into their relationships because they haven't healed. They haven't talked about the trauma. They haven't healed from that trauma. So every relationship that you go from one relationship to the other, guess what? That trauma just follows you from one relationship to the other relationship to the other relationship, and it never works. It never works. I got separated from your dad in 2009. I didn't get divorced until 2012. I took 3 years to emotionally heal from that relationship. Emotionally, and to find myself and what I wanted.
Yeah.
I got married at 19 years old. The fuck? Like, I got married very young.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's young.
Yeah.
You get married very young. He was young too. We were kids.
For sure.
Growing up in the same household and raising children at the same time. A lot of trial and error. A lot of making mistakes and learning. You understand what I'm saying? And I had to take time. I was a mom, which I still was a mom. You and Sean were gone out that, y'all were living on your own. I had Zaul, but I still had to learn how to be self-sufficient by myself.
Yeah.
And just have Zaul, and I didn't have you and Sean, but I had Zaul. I was still raising Zaul, but I had to learn a lot of things. A lot of things your dad did that I did not know how to do. You know what I'm saying? I remember, I'll never forget this. Terry will tell you, my best friend, Teresa Davis, I didn't know how to change a car tire.
No, word.
And she did because she had been single forever.
Yeah.
And me, newly single, I get a flat tire, and she's like, come on, let's change this tire. I looked at her like, who changing this tire?
Yeah, call AAA.
Me and you. That's who's changing this tire. You never changed the tire before? I was like, no, I've never changed the tire before. She was like, you're going to learn today. Get over here. And she showed me how to change the tire, y'all. There was things that I did not know how to do for myself, let alone for my kids.
You still know how to change a tire?
I do. I can get out there and change it. I'll put it up on the jack. But I have roadside assistance. I'm not doing that. And I have with my I pay extra for that. Guess what, Terry? So I don't have to do it. But I mean, it's like a lot of things you have to, coming out of a marriage, you have to learn. And I took time for me. You have to take time to heal. Take time for yourself. Take time to figure out what you want, what you like, what you don't like. Do you want, I was cooking for somebody for 17 years, washing clothes for kids and husband. I didn't want to do that again.
Yeah.
I did not want to wash nobody clothes ever again. If it was just Zaul clothes, I was cool with that. But I did not want to do that. I needed to take time for myself.
Yeah, that's a difficult life. Like, I could imagine from 19 to, how old were you when you got divorced?
35.
That's a long time to be living for other people. You know what I mean? No, that's why your spirit is so young. 17, yeah. I was about to say, that's why your spirit is so young now. Because I remember, like, when you got divorced, like, you just really go back to being 19 again. Like, all right, I'm back where I started.
I'm back.
Yeah, you're
Yo,
like,
y'all, this dating pool, I wish I was. I'm going to tell you, being out here dating as an older woman is just some shit I'm not going to deal with. And I'm going to probably get a whole bunch of haters on this shit. But I'm going to just tell you, it's a lot of stuff I'm not going to deal with. And that's a needy person. I'm not dealing with that. Because I've already been there. I was young. I had a husband. I didn't work a job. I was at home. So I cooked dinner. My house was clean. My kids was in bed at a certain time. Like, I had a routine. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, at some point, you have to relearn how to be an individual. You're going from a family to being an individual. One person. Yourself. Man, I had the time of my life when I moved to Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
I did things I never did before because I was married from the time I was 19 until I was 35.
Mm-hmm. Still having the time of your life.
And still having the time of my life. I'm just appreciative of all the women that I've encountered in my life, because I've met a lot of good women that have been in my same situation. We're married young, got divorced, and we're all out here single. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to tell you, it's hard out here dating. And I know we probably went off topic a little bit, y'all. We was talking about co-parenting, but we just, it just went another direction. But it's hard. Don't you think so? You were in a long-term relationship for a while.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, I don't take no... you know me. So like I say, as soon as I see something that turns me off, I'm out. Like,
yeah.
I'm very... I know what I want and don't want at this time in my life, or what type of person. Yeah.
And you should. I wish people would be more transparent about... Because I've had people say, I've been in a relationship with somebody, but I was in that relationship because I just stayed.
Yeah, I ain't staying for nothing.
I ain't about to do that.
Nah.
I stayed in a 17-year marriage. Like, I ain't about to do that.
Ain't wasting no time. No more time shall be wasted.
Because we don't have time.
Exactly.
Time keeps going. And if you're dating somebody now and that person's not giving you what you want or what you're expecting, just move on from it and find somebody new. If a person can't show you, because I feel like a person will show you who they truly are. A person will show you what value you hold in their lives, right? Mm-hmm. And if that person if you're not getting that, move on. Don't waste your time. Because at the end of the day, it's not worth it. You're wasting time. Time keeps moving. It keeps ticking.
And you can't
tick,
change
tick,
nobody.
Tick, tick, tick. And you can't change nobody.
Yeah.
Especially after 40.
Mm-hmm.
You might have had a chance to change a man like 20s, 30s, maybe 30s. But after 40, you ain't changing nobody. I'm sorry. You can't. They're going to be who they are for the rest of their lives. Right? Mm-hmm. So if that person is not, because I'm one too that kind of overlook. At first, I'll kind of overlook what I don't like. I'll be like, might not like this about him, but he's a cool guy. You know, like I like his personality, character is strong, this and that. But I'm just gonna tell you, if a person lies to you in the beginning stages, he gonna lie to you throughout the entire time. What do you think about that?
It's probably true. I'm not a liar.
Because you allow them to get away with it.
Oh yeah, and the person's gonna do what you allow them to do. So if they like, you know,
I got away with it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get away with it again. And again, she ain't even
doing it. Yeah.
But sometimes y'all gotta understand that silence is golden. When a woman gets silent, and I'm just gonna kick some game to y'all. When a woman gets silent, it's because she's fed up. And she's already planning her escape. That's how we do. We're going to get quiet. And when we're not complaining anymore, when I'm not saying it's 3:00 in the morning and you just came in the door, you're doing this and that makes me uncomfortable. You're not spending enough time. When all that, what y'all call nagging, stops.
When the nagging stops,
it's over with. You can't reel her back in. It's going to be over with.
Yeah, she's done.
She's done. Mentally, she's already escaped She's already left I'm not gonna say escape because she ain't in jail. Nobody's in jail. But she's already left the relationship. She's just trying to find out how to entirely move out of it. When a woman becomes
how to line her ducks, put her ducks in the line.
She's trying to get her money up. She's trying to figure out. And baby, if she move into the other room, you best believe it's over. And she's just trying to get her money up so she can leave. That's how women are. We're gonna be calculating and trying to figure out how we're gonna exit.
Yeah,
it's very important, especially when you have kids.
Yeah,
and you have to exit with kids. You got to make sure the kids are not suffering because you've decided to leave a situation. You got to make sure that financially you're able to take care of the kid that you have or the kids that you have, so that because sometimes when it's challenging for a woman, she'll go back to the same situation because she can't make it on her own. And that's sad too. That happens a lot.
Yeah, that's why family is important. Or somebody you can count on.
Yes, that you can count on. Man, I could always count on my family to be there. You know what I'm saying? When it was time. I mean, you already know. Y'all are grown now.
Yeah.
I left a couple times. You know what I'm saying? And the last time I left, my brother was like, "What you gonna do?" I was like, "This is it." You know what I'm saying? It was it for me. But you got to know. You got to know when it's time to throw in the towel.
Yeah.
Just gonna be honest, like, you can't keep putting up with stuff.
Exactly.
That's just like with a job. The job ain't going the way you want it to go. Why stick it out? Leave that damn job and find something that's gonna make you happy.
Exactly.
Change the course or the direction that you're going in. That's not hard to do. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I know we kind of got off topic, y'all, but I had to say that. It was in my spirit. Sometimes your spirit leads you and you got to talk about it, but I had to talk about that because a lot of times people stay in messed up situations just because they feel like they can't leave.
Yeah, there's always a way out.
There's always a way out.
It might be difficult, but it'll be light at the end.
But trust me, there's light at the end of every tunnel.
Yeah.
It might be dark in there. You might see a little beacon of hope. But just keep going. Don't let nobody abuse you. Don't let nobody talk to you on any old kind of way and disrespect. And this is for men and women because there's disrespectful women out there too. There's abusive women out there. It goes for both men and women. Don't let nobody disrespect you, abuse you, call you out your name, treat you
none of that.
Like you're less than, like you don't value yourself. Value you. And set your standards high. Because at the end of the day, it's somebody out here for you. You know what I'm saying? There's somebody out here for you. The person that you're dealing with may just not be the person for you. And it's okay. Just move on from that person. Because you're not going to be blessed with another person until you get yourself out of that situation first. There ain't no blessings coming to you when you're in a whole relationship with one person. You got to get out of that. Ladies, gentlemen, leave that stuff alone. You see the red flags? Run. That's all I can tell you. Run. And we all see red flags in relationships. You know what I'm saying? So that was my 2 cents. Let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying? If you're not happy, leave. The person ain't treating you right, leave. I'm giving you from my experience, what I would do. I would leave. I can't nobody tell you what to do. Nobody can say, your relationship has... I do believe people can change, too.
I don't know. I don't believe in that.
You don't think so?
Nah.
Wow.
I don't think people can change.
I think if people get the right attention that they need, as far as like counseling and stuff like that, I think people can change. But you gotta want to change. That person has to want to change. If the person don't want to change, it's not going to change.
Yeah, maybe
there's not
that's
nothing
what
you
it
can
is.
do about it. Yeah, they gotta want it for themselves. And want it for you.
Because I've changed in a lot of aspects, not even just relationship stuff, but just I've changed. Yeah. So
directions, the things we're doing.
Yeah.
You've changed a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So change can happen, but you gotta want it.
You gotta want to. Yeah, that's true.
You gotta want to change. Whether it's relationship, you want a new job, you want your life is not going in the direction that you want it to go in. You want to change the course of your life and how things are going. You can do that. You just gotta want it. You gotta grind for it. You gotta hustle for it. You gotta do what you gotta do.
More so, what I was saying is you can't make people change. Like, you can't make somebody change. They have to want to change for themselves.
You can't, not through crying or being disappointed and just, I mean, because we've all been disappointed. It just is what it is. Like I told the one guy, everyone's been hurt before. We've all been hurt in a relationship. The person wasn't what you expected them to be. The person ain't shit. I said I was going to stop cursing. The person is not who they said they were going to be. The person didn't present themselves, and they're just not who they are. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. Just move on. You just got to know when to quit. Know when to quit. Know when to quit in relationships, people. That's what it is. And like we said, sometimes we pick the same people over and over and over again, right?
So then it's you. If it's you that keep
That's why I said, when you start realizing that you've picked the same person over and over again, it's time for you to reflect on you and take the time you need to grow so that you don't keep picking the same kind of man. Because women, it's really your choice on who you want to be with. It's you're the one, you're the picker, you're the one picking. It's your choice. So you're right when you said that. That is absolutely the truth. You are making the same mistakes over and over again. Reevaluate yourself, what you're doing wrong, what's attracting you to these people.
I think we all are the picker, though, because even men are the picker. I'm currently choosing through which who I want to be with. Who you want to be with.
Yeah. But she's got to choose you too.
Yeah.
And ultimately,
and I gotta choose her, so it go both ways.
Well, I guess it does go both ways. I always think that women make the ultimate decision. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay,
we're gonna see what the comments say. Who made the ultimate decision?
Who makes the ultimate decision in wanting to be in the relationship? The man or the woman? We're gonna put that poll out there.
Yeah, we're gonna put that poll out today
and see what people say. All right, so we're gonna get off the relationship topic because I always get hate mail, hate comments because what I say is, I'm speaking for me, what I've learned, what my lessons have been, what I've experienced in life. So you're right. Maybe we all been hurt, like I said. So sometimes we learn from that and sometimes we don't. We make the wrong choices. So just try to make the right choices. I don't know. I just feel like sometimes we get stuck and don't take time. We go from one relationship to the next, to the next, to the next, and you're not taking time to breathe. You're not taking time to heal. You're bringing that trauma along with you in every relationship that you're going through. That's not healthy.
Not at all. Let's
be healthier humans. Let's be healthier in the decision-making process. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I used to say I didn't never want to be married, but at the end of the day, who doesn't want to be married? Who doesn't want a partner to live the rest of their lives with? Like, if it doesn't happen for me, I'm cool because I've already experienced that. There's people that have never been married, never have been able to experience that. And it's a wonderful experience if you're with the right person. And even if you're young and you're getting married, you grow with that person and that person becomes your right person. You know what I'm saying? Becomes your person because you've grown with them throughout time. It's not a lot of growing in different directions. You're growing in the same direction. And people do grow together. I believe I've seen a lot of, being a military wife and seeing a lot of couples that were married early, because a lot of them are married young. You think I was young, 19 and 21? There was younger people married younger than us. And some people have made it. You know what I'm saying? It's growing together, not apart. So that's just my 2 cents, y'all, at Titi's house. 2 cents, give it back to me if you don't want it. That's it. So let's talk about in the news. Man, so much stuff going on. Did you hear about the cartel murdered 5 students?
I did see that.
Man.
That's crazy.
They lured them for a job.
Yep.
Knowing that the economy is the way it is.
Yeah.
They needed a job. Maybe they're in school. They needed some extra money. But why would they have done that?
I mean, they was trying to recruit them for the cartel. And
Is that what it was?
Yeah, and when they said no, they killed him. So I'd have been soldier number 1 in the cartel if they recruited me there. I'm like, yeah, what we gotta do?
Man, I didn't know it was that. I thought it was like a setup type situation.
No, yeah, because I was thinking that too, and then I read the article. I'm like, dang, why they just call them there to kill them? Like, how random is that?
On IG, they don't give you the whole article, but it just said that they lured
said
them
once
there.
they said they don't want to join the cartel, they killed them.
That's so sad. They made them fight one another and stab each other too. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the cartel made them fight one another, and then they went ahead after making them fight one another. They went ahead and killed them.
Yeah, that's insane. I would have been part of that cartel. I ain't answering no job interviews or nothing no more, though. That's crazy.
I know, like, how do you answer? How do they place an ad in the paper?
Yeah,
come work for us. Like, what does that look like, y'all? The cartel ad, like, it's not funny, but it's like, how do you recruit these boys? Man, I thought that was the craziest thing ever. Like, the cartel does whatever the cartel want to do.
Yeah.
In Mexico, shoot, they running things.
Exactly.
I hate to say that.
Let them continue to run it.
So there was a man in the bookstore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I already know.
Can I tell you, y'all? Google the man in the bookstore sniffing the woman's butts.
Yeah, I seen that.
Because he looked crazy. Did he not look crazy?
Yeah. Was it more than one woman he did it to?
He did it to a couple of women in the bookstore.
Okay.
But it was one that she was recording. She's a TikToker.
Recording, yeah.
So she was recording for TikTok. And in the process of recording, she caught him on camera. And she was really shocked. But he was like on his knees going behind the women smelling their butts.
You know.
But they said he was I don't know.
A serial
sex
sniffer?
offender.
Oh, okay. Serial sniffer.
Serial sniffer. That's a good one.
Oh, man,
yeah, they said that he was he hadn't registered. He's a sex offender and he didn't register.
Yeah. So
they locked him up for a while and then let him go. But that's, man, if I'm in the bookstore and I'm looking around and I catch that man on video, I'm going to say something.
No,
she went to the front. She did the right thing. She went to the front of the bookstore and told, like, this man's going around sniffing people's butts. And they caught him on camera. And they called the police.
Yeah.
But he looked damn crazy.
I'm about to say, he going to sniff the wrong one that's going to knock him out.
Yo, he looked crazy though. Didn't he look crazy? Did he look crazy to you? He looked crazy bugging. As hell to me. Like his ears were like poking.
Yeah, his ears look crazy.
Like his ears were like. I don't even know what they look like.
Yeah, no, them joints. I don't know.
I don't know. He looked crazy.
Yeah.
He looked crazy. I don't know. I thought that was the saddest
No,
thing.
he's bugging. I mean, ain't no telling what other crazy stuff he's done.
Yeah, if he's a sex offender.
Yeah, if he's already on a sex offender.
They say he failed to register, and that's how they took him in. Because I don't think sniffing somebody's butt is illegal, is it?
That is definitely got to be illegal.
Is it illegal?
You can't do that. That's why I went so crazy. It's like,
oh my God, sometimes I walk by a guy, and if he smells good, I'm like, is that illegal?
Yeah, that might be illegal. No, I'm just playing. No, it's probably just the way in which he did it.
Oh my God, yeah. I guess sniffing someone's butt. That's a little bit outrageous.
Yeah, he's bugging.
Yeah, that's a little crazy. You're right about that. I take that back. That is illegal, y'all. Y'all don't go around sniffing people's butt. There was a guy on the airplane that had a mirror that was looking under the women's dress. They called the...
Yeah, I was about to say, that gotta be illegal too.
Yeah, that was illegal. They got him off that plane. I think it was the stewardess. He was looking. He took his cell phone.
Oh, we're taking
recording.
pictures.
Yeah, taking pictures or recording.
Yeah, no,
videos. You can't do that kind of stuff. That's creepy.
Yeah.
Man, that's creepy. Another creepy thing. Dolphins cornerback Xavier Howard was filming his sexual escapades and sharing them without permission.
Oh, yeah.
That's a felony.
Yeah, exactly. You can't send anything you've done. Even if you have consent to doing the video, you can't send it to people.
Well, how did Kim Kardashian become famous?
Because her mother, they gave consent.
Oh.
Yeah, no, her mother brokered that deal. They got paid off of that.
Oh, that's
once it fell into their hands. Yeah, once it fell into the hands of the people. Yeah, but yeah, you can't send stuff like that out.
That's
it's for
crazy.
your eyes only.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, So I don't know what's gonna happen with him, but that's some creepy stuff too. Like so you're sitting here filming these women having sex with them. You got a camera somewhere, and you're having sex with these women. At least let them know.
Oh, they didn't even know that they were on camera. Oh, okay.
The
yeah, because I was saying
know.
even if they did know, it's still illegal to send it to somebody that had nothing to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You still can't.
You
send
have
it
to get people. You got to get consent to film somebody doing sexual things. You cannot just do that and then share the tapes with people.
Yeah.
Or share the videos of these ladies. I mean, that's, first of all, that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Even though if you're in a relationship with this guy, you've been dating him for a while, whatever, that's creepy. You don't share that kind of stuff.
See, he's been weird. It's always been weird to me for a guy to go show that to his friends. That's a little weird. Like, yo, you want your mans to see you having sex with another person? That's crazy to me. Like, why are you showing that to your friends and your teammates? That's not no different than having a
threesome, is it? No.
I don't know. It's just weird.
Like I don't know. It's just weird to me.
Yeah,
like you don't
I've
do
never
that.
in my mind been like, oh yeah, I'm about to go show this to the homies.
You don't do that.
That's
you don't
crazy.
do that. So I know that there's a lot of people since the pandemic. A lot of people have been working from home.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of companies are now calling them to come back to the office. They want them to come back, and I think Zoom was one of them. Zoom, out of all people, Zoom, you have showed America that
how
we can work through a computer, and now you want to bring your people back into the office. No. And people are not having it. People do not want to come back into an office. But why wouldn't employees, this is how I feel. This is my opinion. A lot of companies have gone away from paying people a pension plan. The pandemic has allowed y'all to see that people can work from home and be successful. Mm-hmm. You're not paying rent
on the
building. You're saving probably $1 million a year. Give people back that money in their pensions. Give people back a pension plan. You've taken it away from people. And I'm going to tell you, 401ks were not made to help people retire from their jobs. They're not. A 401k, people, I always say this, and I know you probably think I'm crazy or whatever, but I'm taking my 401k money that I would invest in my company. Now, I put the bare minimum because they're matching it. Companies are matching it. So go ahead and put the bare minimum in there, but pay yourself first. Mm-hmm. Take that money, save it. I don't care if you save it for a year, just like you would in putting it into a 401k. Take that money and invest it in a property, invest it in a new business. Like, you are not going to be able to retire off your 401k unless you start like in your 20s. You might have some money when you come out, but 401ks can fold too, and you have nothing, and you've been paying into this. I think it's unfair. Like, if your employees are successful and you're running a business where you can basically operate from home, why not do that and start pension plans again? That's my opinion to these big companies, these Fortune 500 companies. Start these pension plans up again, because people are not going to be able to retire. That's why you can't find good employees.
Yep.
What are you offering besides a medical plan? People can go choose another medical plan somewhere else. They don't even have to take your medical plan. That's just my opinion. I mean, I ain't investing that much money in my 401k because that's not going to do nothing for me. Mm-hmm. 401ks were not set up to help you retire, people. And some people are putting all this money in there. And guess what? It ain't going to help you retire. You better hope you don't live past 5 years after you retire. Seriously, because that money's going to go like that. Take that money and invest where you can have a return on it every month. It's not going to do nothing for you. It's sad. Mm-hmm. But the only jobs, and I'm going to tell you, with that being said, let's go into our greens and greens section, which is our health and wealth. Mm-hmm. Teach your kids to start investing early in their own futures. You know what I'm saying? 18, first job. Take a portion of their money and start putting it in a Roth. Put it in somewhere where it'll accumulate over time. Buy an insurance plan for them, to put money in.
Teach them stocks.
Teach them stocks. Teach them how to get a return on their money.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Early. Financial freedom, financial wealth, create wealth. The U.S. is not set up to help us retire. There's not going to be, for you, there's not going to be Social Security.
Oh, yeah.
It'll probably be gone.
And you already know, I kind of already seen all that. You know the way that I've been always working jobs, especially in these later years of my life. It's all been working to live instead of living to work. Just like really taking it.
Yeah.
Because you can see that it's about to fold.
Yeah. It's just not good.
Yeah.
It's not the economy is not good for us right now. You know what I'm saying? And I want to tell you, I mean, I have insurance through my job, but you have to have additional insurance policies. There's a guy talking about that, and I want to talk about that because he talked about it on Instagram. Remember, I sent it to you on Instagram about. Let me find my. Let me see where it came from. But he talks about money. He's from the Sheffield Group Financial Services LLC, and he was giving us some game. Let me tell you what the game is, y'all. He talks about opening up a trust, becoming the owner of it, you listing yourself as the trustee. Okay, you become the trustee. You buy insurance plans for all your family members, and then you use that money to borrow from to create generational wealth. That's how you got to do it. Also, like for myself, I have my own LLC. It's not in my name. This other guy was like, you need to get your own LLC in your name. Y'all, this is game right here. Like, you got to know what to do to create generational wealth. If not, you're not going to have anything. Kids ain't going to have nothing. He said, make your name an LLC. So, for example, Jane Doe makes her name an LLC, right? With that LLC, you get an EIN number. Instead of using your personal credit, you use your business credit to create wealth. That's it, because with personal credit, once that goes, it goes. If you forget to pay a bill, you're late making payments, that kind of stuff starts happening, guess what happens to your credit?
Finito.
It goes down. But if you have business credit, you're buying things under your business, which is the best way to do it.
Yep, and then if
it
goes,
keeps
you can
your
start a
personal
new business,
credit.
right?
Because when you go to buy anything, they always look at your personal. When you go to buy a car, what do? They run your credit. If you're using your business credit and you have an EIN number, you're not going to be able to, you can't mess up your business credit like you can mess up your personal credit, skipping payments. Now, if you have credit cards in your business credit, then that's different. You know what I'm saying? You can mess up your credit because you still got to pay your business credit.
Yeah, but imagine though, if your business goes under, you can start a new business, right? And get a new EIN.
Get a new EIN
start
number.
It all over again, yeah.
That's game. You got to know how to make money. You got to know where to invest your money. Yeah, the United States, like I said, these plans, these 401ks are not set up to help you retire. They're really not. Pension plans are gone. That's crazy to me. But now we're in a society where mostly everyone is working from home. You can feel it too because there's not traffic like it used to be. Traffic is a lot better here in Atlanta anyway because people are working from home. But once you start calling these people back to an office space where they got to come in 3 days a week, they're going to leave. They're going to find a job where they can work from home. People don't want to have to put mileage on their cars. You live in a metro area where you might be commuting an hour to go to work, an hour to come back home. That's just mental stress.
They're going to find another job.
Why not take the money that you're putting into a building into your employees' pension plans. Why not? Does that make sense? It makes sense to me. Bring back pension plans.
So nobody has pensions.
A lot of companies do not. Like the post office still has pension plans. The military still has pension plans. But corporate Fortune 500 companies, everybody, the 401k has replaced the pension plan. And people, we not retiring off of that. I'm sorry to say that. We are not retiring off of 401k. We just ain't. Start preparing. Start looking at different, start following people that are spitting knowledge to you about finances. You know what I'm saying? If you want to know about stocks, follow Wall Street Trapper. He'll teach you about stocks. If you want to learn about business stuff, Ellie Talks is another one. She kicks game on IG. Like, really start doing your research and looking, especially if you're in your 20s and 30s. Now is the prime time to start investing a certain amount of money so you don't feel it as you begin to make more money. That money's going to be minimal. You'll never feel it because guess what? You're never used to getting it. That's the best way to start. Young. Telling Zaul that. Like, you can start putting like $200 in a Roth. You know, start putting your money somewhere where it can accumulate over time. Get insurance you can borrow off of. I think it's called whole life insurance. Whole life insurance you can get and you can borrow off of that. And then just put the money back. You know what I'm saying? There's ways to do things. You got to just become more financial savvy. I know I'm learning now. And I'm late in the game. But I'm learning now. It's never too late to learn either.
Never too late.
Make sure you're out here doing your research, you know, finding out what works for you, how much you can put away, how much you can't. If you are going to invest in a 401k, I would do the minimum and pay yourself. Take that money, save it, double it. Use the stock market to double it. I don't care how you double it. Use your neighborhood drug dealer. I don't know. Tell them you want to double your money. I'm just kidding, y'all. That was just a joke. Oh, my God. But you got to find ways to create generational wealth. Because, like I said, these pension plans are gone and 401ks are not set up to help you retire. So with that being said, I'm going to end this Titi's at Titi's House podcast. Once again, thank you for coming and spending your day with us. And we will see you next week.